Mr. Speaker, having listened to all these mainlanders talk about the plight of Newfoundland, it's a great pleasure for me as a Newfoundlander to stand in the House today, Mr. Speaker, and to defend the interests of me fellow Newfoundlanders. My gosh, Mr. Speaker, this issue has got so much on me nerves, I'll have to go home tonight and get me mother to pour me a glass of tequila. Now, let me begin with some of the typical short-sightedness that we have among mainlanders, Mr. Speaker, when dealing with the issues pertinent to Newfoundland. For example, we have the Honourable Member of the Liberal Party suggesting that what Newfoundlanders really need is private investment. But what they seem to forget, Mr. Speaker, is that Newfoundland is a very distinct place. The 98 residents of Turks Got who fished all of their lives, they're not interested in having factories in their town. They're interested in having fish in their sea, Mr. Speaker. And And Mr. Speaker, as for these notions that somehow or another we should resort to diplomacy in order to deal with the piracy of the nation's resources on the East Coast, well, I'm sorry, Mr. Speaker. Those answers simply have not been sufficient for the people of Newfoundland. They've sat there and watched those useless Coast Guard ships sail out as the Portuguese trawlers sail back to Europe and outspeed them, and there goes their fish and their future, and there's nothing they can do about it, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we in Newfoundland happen to believe that one of the great things about a country is preserving its sovereignty. And the way you preserve a country's sovereignty is take the resolve to defend your interests when you're called upon by potential aggressors. We believe that a nation is no good, Mr. Speaker, unless you're prepared to build the infrastructure in order to defend it and defend its sovereignty. And our resources are being pirated on the East Coast, and the people of Newfoundland and the people of Canada will take it no longer, Mr. Speaker. And, Mr. Speaker, finally, if I may conclude on the issue of the seals. Mr. Speaker, we hear all these great things up here in the mainland about all those beautiful furry seals and how we can't possibly go after them. Well, let me explain. The Honourable Member of the Liberal Party was talking about science. Well, let me tell the House a little bit of scientific data here tonight. Now, what happens to the codfish when the seal feces go into the water is the codfish eat them and then they die, Mr. Speaker. So obviously allowing seals to proliferate is not in the interest of preserving the cod stocks for the people of Newfoundland. And one of the other things we resent in Newfoundland is the fact that people in the mainland who think seals are cute don't think that we should be able to eat seal flippers. Well, maybe the people in Newfoundland, maybe, Mr. Speaker, the people in Newfoundland think chickens are cute. You don't see us up here in Toronto telling you not to eat chicken, Mr. Speaker.